Stuck on an island with 2 decks in hand. With Takeoff on board, things are just as I planned. I'm thinking I'll win when my boot plays triple coils, inks and brawls, and my plans are foiled.
Come on now, let's play some Lorcana. Watch Big Takeoff rise up from dueling lava. We'll slurp spaghetti like the tramp with seeds of blue to help us ramp a smorgasbord of lore. It's Lorcana.
Salutations!
Hey, howdy, hey, partner.
We're saying hello from snowy New Hampshire. That's right, tomorrow's April, and it is still snowy New Hampshire. I'm Brett.
I'm Katie.
And you're listening to Lorcana Radio, where we talk about all things smooth snacks, happy Disney, and joyful Lorcana.
The next track we'll be playing is called Chips.
Katie, we were supposed to go to a 1K last
Yes.
weekend, a 1,000 tournament,
Yes.
meaning there was a $1,000 prize pool at stake. And what happened?
It snowed.
It wasn't snowing a lot by New Hampshire standards, but it was enough so that it didn't seem worth it to drive over an hour for the tournament.
Yeah, it was just it was icy and crummy, and, the tournament's pretty expensive, and we're buying a house soon, so it just felt right to stay in while it was cold and not risk it for the biscuit, and pass on this 1K, unfortunately.
And let me tell you, nobody's happier than all of the players who did make it to the 1K because they were about to get stomped by my Chip and Dale deck, let me tell ya.
That's right, folks. Sometimes some crimes go slipping through the cracks.
The meta breaker has yet to be unleashed upon the world.
Soon it will be, though. It's going to be great. I can't wait for Chip and Dale to absolutely wreck.
I had it all ready to go. I had my enchanted Chip and Dale in the deck. I had as many foil Chips and foil Dales in the deck as we owned. I was ready to rock, but alas, it was not meant to be, and so we wait.
We wait. And the world waits.
Speaking of snow,
Yeah.
we just saw Snow White, the live-action remake.
Now, folks, there are some things that bother me more than other things, and that's when people go to a movie just to hate watch it. We were not going to this movie just to hate watch it. Yes, it's gotten meh reviews, but we are Disney fans through and through. If there's a new Disney movie in the theaters, we're going to go see it.
We're paying to go see the movie. We want our time to be fulfilling. We want it to be good.
Yeah, and we gotta know. Brett, before we dive into this, overall, what grade would you give Snow White?
I would give it gut reaction a C-.
Yeah, I'd say maybe a C+.
It passed, it didn't fail.
No. I didn't feel like we needed to walk out of the theater.
Spoiler alerts for the next, 2 or 3 minutes here. If you don't want to hear about Snow White, then just hit that 30-second forward button a few times.
Yeah. So, to kind of get into it, overall, I felt like it was a missed opportunity. I mean, Snow White is such an iconic movie. They could have done a lot of really cool things with it. They've had plenty of practice doing live-action remakes at this point. And I was expecting more of like a Little Mermaid remake where, yeah, they changed some pieces of the plot a little bit to kind of update it for modern times, but it doesn't lose the story. I felt like this lost track of the story. Halfway through the movie, I was like, okay, I'm not watching Snow White anymore.
There's not a lot of story that they were working off originally. And so you have to make the decision, are you going to expand the story, add lots and lots of story elements, and really change things up in that regard? Or are you going to lean into the aesthetics, right? Are you going to make it more of a tone poem kind of piece that the original feels like sometimes, right? There are very few characters in the original movie. So you can lean into the atmosphere of that, right? The feeling of suffocation that Snow White feels and make it more atmospheric. Or you can go in the direction of, let's talk about this whole kingdom. Let's add tons and tons of characters and subplots. And they started to go in that direction.
And that was fun. That was an interesting part of it. And I loved how they stayed true to more than you would think that they would. I mean, there was still a magic mirror, and it was nice to have a backstory for Snow White's parents, which we don't get in the original movie. She definitely felt like a more dynamic character.
She made more decisions, which was great to see. Maybe the biggest story going into this, when this project was announced, was, unfortunately, the color of Rachel Ziegler's skin.
Sure, yeah.
And I have to say that was such a non-story. Like, my goodness, could that be less consequential? Like, it's instantly explained how she gets the name Snow White, like in the first 30 seconds of the movie. And you're like, perfect, got it. Didn't need to worry about this. Don't know why people were freaking out so much.
Yeah, and I've got to say, even like watching it, halfway through, I remembered that being a problem. Like halfway through the movie, I remembered people being like, her skin isn't actually as white as snow. And then I just bought it. Like when I was watching the beginning of the movie and they said that's why she's named Snow White because of, she was born in a snowstorm. I bought it and it took me like an hour to remember that people had even been upset about that. Like it just was great.
Yeah, maybe they cast her because she's a phenomenal performer who can sing the heck out of the part, Maybe it didn't have to do with DEI like people were claiming,
right.
It was so silly, so silly. She did a great job. I have no complaints about her performance.
Oh, me neither. She's a Broadway gem.
She struggled acting against green screen actors, I think, for sure. She's reacting to nothing a whole lot, and that comes across. Some of her reactions aren't genuine, but I don't blame her for that. And as far as her singing and acting with other humans went, it was phenomenal.
And she muscled through some tough dialogue at points.
Woo!
And a couple tough songs, and she nailed it.
I am not a fan of Pasek and Paul, who are the also Broadway songwriters who were tapped to add some music to this. I didn't find their contributions to be particularly good.
I personally really didn't mind the music that much. It felt like it was from a couple different musicals, which I guess is where I would complain, but the songs individually, I was pretty cool with. I was okay with a lot of them.
I thought that their reinterpretations of the original Snow White songs were the strongest. Like their remix of Hi-Ho and their remix of Whistle While You Work were great.
Yeah, Whistle While You Work rocked.
And then there's Princess Problems that felt like it was from an entirely different movie. It felt like it was from their musical Edges, which I hate.
Not a lot of people like Edges, dear listener.
If you want to feel what it's like to experience an overwhelming desire to cut off your own ears, then look up the song A Pretty Sweet Day from Edges.
A pretty sweet day.
A pretty sweet day. Awful.
So they kept a lot of things the same as they are in the movie, which I really appreciated. Her iconic dress was the same. I was surprised by that and happy to see it. They also kept her, eating an apple and dying and being saved by an attractive young man, which I was happy about.
It's just that the attractive young man, in their effort to develop his character, they just made him Flynn Rider.
Yeah, it was a little bit like, what? You've done this. Just make him a prince. He can be a cool prince.
In fact, they set up this geopolitical problem with a neighboring realm that Snow White's father ostensibly is sent to either fight or bargain with or whatever. The prince totally could have been related to that other land, right? You've set up this whole new geopolitical situation, so why not use it? Instead, they just made him Flynn Rider again, which was fine. It was just kind of boring. And then the Evil Queen's performance.
Yipes, Gal Gadot. Yipes.
Yikes. Really bad?
Yeah, she's just not made for that. I am not really well versed in Gal Gadot anyways, beyond I've seen half an hour of Wonder Woman. She's Wonder Woman, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen half an hour of that. And Wonder Woman's whatever, but she really could not do the Evil Queen.
She was good in Wonder Woman. I think the Evil Queen, she really struggled with making her scary, for one thing. She wasn't at all. And that might have been directorial. Her song, the one song from the Queen, was awful. It completely undermined any kind of threatening nature that the Queen might have. After that song, it was great, this is just a camp villain.
Yeah, giving her little peasant background dancers was not a good idea. It was really tough. But, for all of its faults, it also had a lot of nice, charming moments, and I think it was really close. I think it was close to being like Little Mermaid and being really cool. Yeah,
it was not all bad by any means. Some of the physical comedy sequences with the dwarfs were well thought out. They're fast-paced and they had a lot going on. They require a lot of planning for sure. I don't even know what to think about the dwarfs, the design of them. I mean, it was definitely uncanny and weird. But the idea of the dwarfs is uncanny and weird to begin with. So I don't know how you fix that. It just kind of is what it is. I mostly turned my critical eye off when looking at them and said, well, those are really weird and I'm going to forget about it.
Yeah, it's tough because, like you said, they are kind of uncanny in their original animation. Like, they have, like, big ears and big nose and big, huge hands and tiny bodies. And it's just, like, they don't look like any human being that walks the earth. So I guess I get why they were computer generated, but it was also, like, I think we've advanced enough that they could have just been people that we make to look like dwarves. Like, I don't know, right?
I think that they were really concerned about blowback. And so they went way, way out of their way, far, far out of their way to establish that these are magical beings, right? That they can light up the rocks in the cave. And Snow White, when she sees them, like, one of the first things she says is, my mom always said there was magic in the woods or something like that, right? So they were definitely like, these aren't people. These aren't dwarfs.
Yeah.
We're not being insensitive. They're magic. They're magic. They're magic. And so, once I understand the dilemma that they're in, I think it's really hard to navigate that. They were clearly conscious of it. Maybe overly so.
Yeah.
So, I didn't mind the dwarfs. I guess they were okay. And I thought that the situations that they were put in were funny, at times. So that was pleasant.
Yeah, overall, we had a good time at the movies seeing Snow White. I didn't love it. Probably won't put it on again.
It's not a great movie. It's just not a great movie.
But it was fine.
It was fine. Happy to have seen it.
Yeah.
But enough about Snow White.
Yeah. Let's get back to Lorcana here.
What's going on in the world of Lorcana? There's big news from Ravensburger.
Yeah, what is that news that we got from the Ravensburger?
That the German company has hired a new tournament director.
This is good news because it seems like they're not talking about the DLCs and the other fun tournaments, so having a director for this could be very helpful.
Ravensburger said to themselves, the player base is quite annoyed with the lack of preparation and announcements and plannings of all the tournaments, and there's no judge program, so we must hire a tournament director.
Make it somebody's job to fix this. Now, more bratwurst.
That was a recording from the Ravensburger Board of Directors meeting when they decided to hire the new tournament director. This is very exciting news.
Yeah, I think like we just heard in the recording, I think it's great news for DLCs and the prayer that they will come back someday.
Yes, we want to see DLCs. We want to see large events with judges who are well-versed in the rules of Lorcana and how to handle deftly any of the situations that might arise at these big tournaments.
Certainly. It's events like this that give you hope for the longevity of the game. It's stuff like this that's going to keep it going. It's going to get new players engaged. Like, I can only imagine if a DLC popped up in New York City, more people would play Lorcana, or more people would know what Lorcana is than they did before.
Absolutely. So definitely encouraging news on that front. Well, Katie, that's a lot of chat. I am hungry. My tummy is a rumbling. Let's head on into the Smorcana Cafe. What do you say?
Oh, I would love nothing more.
Bonsoir, Madame and Monsieur. It is very good to see you here tonight. It is a very special menu we have prepared. Something that is an old favorite, but perhaps it is going off of the menu for a little while.
Oh, what is it?
Tonight we have a pan-fried flounder with a lemon lemon butter.
It's going off the menu? Why?
Well, we had it on the menu because it was a favorite of our friend Jared, but he is perhaps moving away for a little bit, and so it's decided maybe it is time to retire this dish.
Wow, well, it made it such a delicious dish. I'm so glad we get it again right now.
Yeah, I'm excited to have it one last time.
Yeah, thanks, Francois.
Bon appetit.
This smells incredible.
Yeah, look at this. This is great. Now, I'm a bit surprised that Jared likes this dish so much, given that he is such a fan of Flounder from The Little Mermaid.
Yeah, maybe he was able to separate the two in his mind.
He must have. It's a fitting that they're retiring this dish because
it's the end of the Citizens of Lorcana podcast.
Yeah, Jared, the original host of Citizens of Lorcana, along with his co-host James, have decided to end their podcast, Citizens of Lorcana, the original Lorcana podcast.
Yeah, yet another one bites the dust. Sad to see a compadre drift away.
It is. We've seen a lot of our favorite pods end in our time as part of the community, but it was definitely surprising to hear this from Citizens of Lorcana because they have been there from the very beginning. Like, they were one of the first creators of Lorcana content. If you search for a Lorcana podcast, theirs is the one that comes up first. I would bet that they have the highest listenership for audio podcasts up there with Podcana. So they've been a real pillar of the community for years now. For a long time before the game even came out, they were making content.
Yeah, the memes are unmatched. They were great with output of content, a high quantity of high quality content. Their loss will be felt. They
were constantly sharing new cards. Like, as soon as a new card got revealed, they would be sharing it on the social medias and talking about it. They were always starting interesting conversations in social media. And like you said, the memes are amazing and pervasive. They are well-known lovers of both Oswald and Flounder.
Yeah. Two characters who unfortunately still really haven't gotten a good shout in Lorcana.
Yeah.
People use Oswald, but I don't think anybody really likes him.
I think people like him, but he's just not good.
Yeah. Whichever way it goes, he's just not perfect, and neither is Flounder.
Nobody sees Flounder. Yeah, but maybe we'll rectify that. Maybe we'll see what we can cook up for a dream card later. But yeah, I've loved hearing their journey. I remember that they were one of the first podcasts that I listened to, and, quickly introduced you to them as well. It was a great podcast. It wasn't about, an uber competitive analysis of what was going on. It wasn't kind of like a regurgitation about the meta or anything like that. It was something different. It was something more. They brought this variety of perspectives constantly. We heard from artists on their podcast. We heard from content creators. We heard from top players after they won big events. They even interviewed Ryan Miller at one point, one of the chief designers of Lorcana.
Yeah, incredible members of the community, right? Just like you said, with the outreach to other content creators, the outreach to the artists and the players and the creators of the game. I mean, those are the kind of content creators that just make the game feel more like it's all one community. They had an incredible interview with Baker, Lorcana villain, and that's what brought us to his whole channel. I mean, we watched that so many times over breakfast. We had him on our podcast. He was our first guest. They have just been massive for making those connections. We've certainly felt it on our end.
I couldn't agree more. But they said that it stopped being fun for them, that podcasting started to feel more like a job. And that's understandable, When it starts to not be fun, there's not enough other reasons to keep doing it than just to have fun, right? Like, you're not doing it to make money or for clout or something like that. It's for fun. And if it isn't that, then I understand it not being worth continuing the podcast, unfortunately.
Of course. I mean, we're constantly checking in with each other and making sure that we're still having fun doing it, because it is rewarding in ways when we get to talk to people who've listened to it, or we hear from listeners, or we get to interview some really cool people. Those are the moments where it's rewarding. And then there are times where it feels like, we're not growing, or we're not reaching as many people as we want to reach, or it's taking up a lot of time in our weeks and our lives. But like you said, I mean, right now we're still getting enough out of it. We're still really enjoying it. And we still love playing Lorcana.
Yeah, we have fun for sure. But I'd say that what really sustains us is the feedback from the community. And that seems like it's maybe like egotistical or something like that. But it's not that we need people to say that they like it and that's why we're doing it. It's fun. We're doing it because it's fun. But it's affirming to hear that people enjoy it. And it makes you say, well, okay, at least somebody's getting something out of this. We're not just talking it into our microphones, and we don't spend hours writing and editing and whatever just for ourselves. At least somebody is getting something out of it. And when I see creators leaving the space and making that decision, I wonder about the feedback that they were or weren't getting. And it makes me want to more constantly tell the creators that I enjoy that I'm enjoying their content.
Of course. I mean, it makes me think of food. right? If you're a chef and you're making dinner for someone every week, you make this really complicated 3-course meal and you put it out in front of them and nobody says if they like it, but then they eat it and they leave, then you'd be like, was it good? Did they eat it? Did they go throw up after? Like, I don't know. What do they like what I'm doing? Do they like that there's lemon in there? I agree with you. These things, especially being on our side of the table, so to speak, really makes you think, hold on, I should like that post or I should comment on that I think it's cool if I think it's cool. I'm certainly guilty of swiping by a lot of things that I see online that I think are neat or interesting or that I show to somebody without even hitting a like. It's easy to do.
Yeah, that silence, on the other hand, from the other side of the table, like you said, can be frustrating. And you're not supposed to, you always hear, you're not supposed to look at numbers, right? But when I look at our numbers, and I do because they're there whenever you post your podcast episode, right? Like they're just there, they're right in your face. And we've really plateaued. Like we haven't grown as a podcast in 4 or 5 months, really. It's been a while since we had an uptick in listeners. And it makes you think like, are we doing something wrong? Like what's going on? Is the game having less interest overall and there are just less people looking for podcasts? And that's kind of balancing out any increases that we have. We're not like losing subscribers or not losing folks who are following the podcast. It's just, we're just kind of staying the same. So I guess this is a plea to remember as content creators leave the space that you as a consumer of content have a voice in keeping things that you like going. And it is important to tell people when you like their content and to be an active member of a community.
Yeah, so to quickly shout out some other content creators who we really enjoy in the Lorcana sphere, who I know we've shouted out before. We really enjoy Rebecca.
Love Rebecca. Love the Lorcana Muses. We listen to Podcana pretty much every week. If you want uber competitive analysis, that's a great one. Similarly, if you're looking for just competitive meta-analysis, the Club Lorcana podcast that Zan does with Jeremy Bertrioni is really great. Artabax has a great podcast that he does weekly, the Articast. There are so many great creators. Lorcana Goons.
What is up, my Lorcana Goons? We watch that all the time.
Goons. Of course, Lorcana Villain is fantastic. There are all of the folks who have helped us out with the S'more Awards.
Oh my
in the
gosh.
past. All of those creators are linked in our last 2 S'more Awards episodes. There are a ton of them, like Sprinkle of Ink and JDZ Quests and Rude Rose. Like the list goes on and on. So long story short, if you like content, please do support that content. Make sure you hit like when you like a video. It's so easy to not do that, but it's also so easy to do.
Oh, I can think of hundreds of times in this technologically advanced age where I've watched something, thoroughly enjoyed it, told someone else about it, and haven't ever clicked like. I'm thinking right now about it, and I'm feeling so sweaty and guilty.
Yeah. Sorry, Lorcana chats. I need to like your video.
Yeah, sorry, Lorcana Goons. We watch you all the time with breakfast. We're subscribed, but we don't like it every time.
Sure, and we need to.
Yep.
But for now, I think that we're the 3rd longest running Lorcana podcast now.
Woo! Okay, so forget what we said. We have to knock out those other 2 that have been here longer than us.
Yeah, Podcana and Illumineer's Quest. 2 great podcasts, but we're coming for you via time travel or something. We'll have to devise a way to somehow.
No, we just have to get them to stop for like 6 months so we can catch up.
We just told everybody to make sure that doesn't happen.
Delete this episode. Forget what you heard.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Oh, hey, Toby. How's it going?
Hey, just hey, keep this on the down low.
Okay.
All right, like it's kind of a secret. I brought you like some secret sauce.
Oh, shoot. You brought a sauce?
Look at this fluffy wonder.
What is that?
Look at this blue fluffy wonder.
Oh, you brought us
Cotton candy, Toby.
Yeah.
No. This is fluffy string sugar.
Yeah, sure. I mean, that's what cotton candy is.
This is my new creation. I spun sugar around really, really fast into this ball of fluff, and it tastes so good, bro.
Is this a metal stick that it's on?
Yeah, it's very fancy, you know? It's like a delicacy.
So you made us blue cotton candy on a steel stick.
It's not cotton candy. It's fluffy spun string sugar. All right?
Okay, yes.
Enjoy. Oh, actually, before I go, as long as we're on the subject of things that you have to totally keep secret, brah.
Okay.
Okay, we're listening.
Do we have to keep this cotton candy a secret?
It's not... Just forget it, all right? Just forget it.
Okay.
You guys still playing Kana?
Yeah, of course. Aren't you?
Yeah, bro.
Wait, that's why we're doing the podcast,
wait
bud.
till you hear this, all right? I've been in my lab with my fluffy string sugar, and I think I finally did it. I think I finally cracked the code. I think I totally broke Kana, bro.
Wow. Okay, you think this is the one?
Yeah, this is the one, bro.
Wow.
This is the meta breaker to end all the meta breakers.
Okay.
Like, you drop this on the meta, and it just smashes the meta apart into 1,000 pieces. And you're like, who did that? And you're like, it was that dude. It was Toby. Oh, bro. Yeah,
okay.
I did it.
Wow. I mean, we're both jazzed to hear what this is.
I'm excited to hear about this. Yeah, I mean, Toby, you've been pretty close. I have to say, the last time with your holiday brew fest, like, you had some actually good decks in there, Toby. So... I'm excited to see what you cooked up.
Yeah, I bet it's going to be good.
Yeah, bro. This puts all those other off-meta brews to shame.
Okay.
All right. Let me just walk you through some play lines here. All right. So you start out, maybe you play an item on turn 1. On turn 1, and you banish it and play Bell for free on turn 1, bro. All right? So
okay.
you've got your Bell on the board. And then maybe you've got some more items. And you banish them with High Ram, Flaversham, Ham the Man.
Yep.
All right, and you draw more cards, and you're like, this is great. I have cards, I have things on the board, I am rolling, right? And where are you getting those extra items? You play the Fortisphere, brah.
Oh.
The Steel Gumball, brah.
Yeah, okay, so to pause you here for a second, you're playing a blue steel deck.
Blue Steel, it is. Those are the colors, all right? So you're playing both Popsicle and Fortisphere. And you banish them with the bells and the high rooms, and you're rolling, brah. And then here's where the combo starts to get rolling.
Okay.
You play that Scrooge McDuck, the new Scrooge McDuck, who can find you a lucky dime, which, might I add, as an enjoyer of the duckiest tales, is thematic. It is a theme win. I do not often spring for theme, brah, but in this case, I like the theme. I like that Scrooge finds his lucky dime. Now, you're like, there are all these items in the discard, so you play the new Happy Clamatodo and get the items back? You know the new lobster dude? The Clamatodo?
You mean Tamatoa?
Yeah, but the Happy Clamatodo dude. The lobster. And the next turn, you play the lucky dime that you got with the Scrooge McDuck for free on the same turn that you play, perhaps, the Tamatodo shiny one. The big one.
Yeah.
The one that costs 8 inks.
Hey, Toby.
Yeah.
I just want to stop you before we get too deep into this.
Okay, what's up? Am I blowing your mind? It's too much, right? You're like, oh my God, Toby, you did it, bro.
Well, you're blowing my mind. Not in a great way, though, bud.
What?
So you know that Brett and I play Lorcana all the time, right?
Well, yeah, I know you have your pod. It's a lot of that's Lorcana.
So we're pretty familiar with the meta, right? Which is why we're always really impressed, Toby, when you bring an off-meta deck. It's really cool.
Thanks, bro. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah,
I take a lot of pride, you know?
Yeah.
I use my mind chakra.
I know that you do.
I use my mind chakra to come up with new brews all the time.
And that's great. But this Sapphire Steel deck that you're describing...
Yeah?
That's a meta deck. And it's kind of like the biggest meta deck that's out there right now.
What?
Yeah. Do you want to sit down?
Can I sit down for a minute?
Yeah, come on over.
Thanks. So, wait, how many people are playing this deck, bro?
I mean, any given tournament, you're going to have probably half the people playing exactly this deck. Yeah.
Half of them?
Yeah, like it's maybe the biggest deck we've ever seen.
You don't understand. Like, I called out for work for like 2 weeks straight to make this deck.
Yeah.
I've been brewing it so hard, bro.
I bet.
I've been brewing it so hard. And everybody else has been brewing it too.
Yeah, I know. I know, bud.
I thought this was the one, bro.
Well,
I thought this was the one.
It is a really good, powerful deck. That's why so many people are playing it.
Oh, is it the best deck, bro?
Yeah.
So I finally did it, but so did everybody else.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I thought it was off meta, but it was meta, bro.
Yeah, it's super meta, in fact.
Oh.
I know. And Ruby Sapphire items is the same kind of thing. You really can't escape it. This whole realm you've dived into it's not good. It's all meta.
I'm giving up.
No. Don't give up, Toby.
I can't do it anymore. I've been working so hard to make the off-meta brew, bro.
Oh, come on.
To break the game, and I can't do it anymore.
Yes, you can, Toby. Yes, you can. Think about all the great off-meta decks you've made.
You really think I'm good at it?
Of course you are.
Really?
Why would we have a whole brew fest?
Oh, okay. Okay, you know what?
Yeah?
I'm gonna take revenge.
There you go.
You know what? I created this deck, and I can destroy it. I am off-meta Toby.
Yeah, you are.
And if I can make something meta, then I can make it off-meta.
Yeah.
I made this blue steel deck, and I can break it.
Yeah. Hey, Toby, this is great energy. Why don't you sit here for a second? I'm just going to chat with Brett.
All right. Oh, the poor guy.
How can he beat blue steel? He said he wants to create a deck that defeats it.
Well, I mean, he did make it apparently. So, I mean, he was in the bunker in his brew cave making this for weeks on end and came up with exactly the meta deck.
Yeah.
So maybe he does have some insight about how to beat it.
Yeah, hopefully. I'm worried about him.
I know, he looks really upset. All right, let's go back and see what he's got.
Okay.
Hey, Toby, we think you're right. Maybe because you developed this deck, maybe you have some insights.
Right, yeah. It's like you know it like the back of your hand, so now you just have to make one that's the front of your hand.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like yin and yang. It's like, it's like heart and mind chakra.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So I think I can do it,
Okay.
I think I can do it. I was just running through the options in my head.
Oh, sure.
I was running through the options to destroy the items and stuff.
Wow, do you have some ideas?
And I think I have some ideas, bro.
Wow.
I think they're bouncing around in my head and you're going to appreciate this because you're like, food and kana, bro?
Right.
Hot potatoes.
Really?
Yeah. Well, because there are lots of ways to get rid of items, and one of them is hot potatoes.
Right.
That is a
true.
flexible card, bro. You don't see people playing that, but that is a flexible card.
Flexible, it's inkable, too.
It's inkable? Oh, I don't need this card. I will ink it. Oh, there are no items. I will deal 2 damage. Oh, there are no items, nor are there any characters. I will ink the card. It works.
That's a really good point. And we love a food-based solution.
It is a food-adjacent solution. And then there's all those old steel staples to, banish all them items, bro. Like Benja and Simba, the son of Mufasa.
Yeah, that's true.
Those banish items, very good.
Yeah.
Steel, very good for banishing items. So there's hope.
There's definitely
hope
is
for
hope.
The off-meta. You know what other card I do enjoy?
Yeah, tell me about it.
Have you peeped the new Gontu?
Yeah, you know what? Not a lot of people are playing him right now.
Cop Gontu?
I know you'll be happy to hear that.
Yeah. Now, he can slow things down quite a bit. I was very afraid of Gontu when I was developing my deck. And I thought to myself, I hope that nobody discovers Cop Gontu.
Yeah, it's almost like your brain was working in reverse. Maybe you should have been playing with Gontu all along because nobody else knew it was there.
Whoa, bro. That's pretty trippy, bro. But he's good, bro. He makes all the items cost 2 more. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
Definitely slows down their engine.
There's that Aladdin on an elephant.
Oh, yeah. Old Aladdin. Yeah. From many sets ago.
He quests, you can banish items. So you can banish an item every turn, every time he quests. Pretty good, bro. And I'm just getting mad now, bro. I'm like, you know what? I see this deck and they're like, this is the meta deck and they don't even know. So I'm like, they're gonna know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
You tell him, Toby.
And that Aladdin shifts using the locations, those sick locations. And so locations are pretty good against the blue steel too, bro.
That's not a bad point.
Did you know that?
I hadn't really thought about locations. I feel like they're being underestimated this set.
Because that deck's like, look at my items. Look at me juggle my items. I'm juggling all my items. Look at, like, here's these Fortispheres. I'm juggling them. Whoa, they're in my discard. Whoa, they're in the board. Whoa, they're in my hand. You're like, oh, you're so cool juggling all your items. And you know what you do? You're just like, you know what your items don't do? They don't attack this location.
That's a good point.
You know?
That's a good point.
They can't juggle the items at the location.
Of course not.
Only to their hand or to the discard pile or to the board, but not at locations.
Wow, so there are a lot of good steel answers. It seems like you're going to stick with steel here.
Steel's pretty good, bro, but you know what? It's not even the only answer. My mind is a buzz, bro. It is a buzz. If you could look inside of my head, you would see like a whole bunch of little like Fortispheres, like ping-ponging all around, being like, whoa, what can we do? That's in my head, bro.
Yeah, it must be a weird place in there, huh?
I had a dark moment, I will not lie, a few minutes ago. It was a dark moment. I did not want to continue with Kana in that moment.
Oh my God.
But then you gave me the confidence. You were like, Toby, you're good. You're good, bro. Bro, come back to me now. Come back, Toby. And I was like, all right, you know, you got a point. You got a point. And then my mind was like, ping, 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 ping. So, pretty good. But yeah, not the only color, steel. You can play that little Pirate Pete dude, little one-drop Pete man.
Yeah.
Pirate Pete.
Pirate Pete.
Yeah. Play an action, banish an item. Play another action, banish an item. Pretty sweet.
Definitely sweet.
You can play Ursula, Il Mama Ursula. Remember her?
Yes, I do.
One of my old gals from when like I first met you, Ursula.
That's true. Ursula's been good forever. She's very flexible.
I love the Il Mama, you know?
I know you love your eels, Toby.
I love the eels. There haven't been any new eels, so I've kind of put them on the shelf for a little while, but they will have their day in the sun.
Of course they will.
Now, Ursula can sing Has Set My Heart.
What was that card again?
Has Set My Heart.
Yeah, what does that do?
She can sing that to banish 2 items.
Exactly.
An option, you know, because she's already a good card. Already good card. Has Set My Heart is inkable, so pretty good.
Definitely.
Can I ask? I'm almost scared to ask.
Don't be afraid.
Did the meta blue steel discover how good it is to sing songs with Belle?
Yeah, Toby. That's
All right,
why it's
I
really
discovered
good.
that first for the record, but also just play Ursula Deceiver.
That's a good point.
The other Il Mama. And then Belle can't sing her song.
Of course.
Pretty good.
This seems like it's kind of forming into some kind of an Emerald Steel deal here.
I think that Emerald Steel would be a pretty good counter. Pretty sweet, bro. You know what? It used to be a meta deck.
Yeah, it was.
You used to look at Emerald Steel and I'd be like, I'm not going to touch that. That is not an off-meta Toby kind of deck, you know?
Right.
That is not for me. But now I look at the meta, apparently, which is blue steel, as I emerge from my brew bunker, and I think that Emerald Steel is off-meta and could be the answer. You play your Pirate Beat. You play your Ursulas. All right? It's pretty good, bro. That'll be pretty good. You discard their hand. Here's what I know, though. Toby will not give up. Toby is here to stay.
Of course.
He will look at the meta and he will make it off. You know what, Toby? Just to butt in here for a second, I have to say, I've been playing your Chip and Dale deck from last set. I updated it with some new cards, and it's really good. It's really good and fun. It's I actually updated your Dreamborn link that you gave us, so like you can see it updated for the new set, and it's pretty rockin'.
Yeah, that's the deck that Brett was going to bring to the 1K the other day.
Yeah, you see? Do you see the kind of impact, the kind of waves that off-meta Toby can make?
Of course we do.
All right. Thank you for the confidence boost. I needed to reframe my experience with Kana there for a minute.
Of course, Toby. We're here for you.
All
Don't
right.
ever give up, Toby.
And enjoy your fluffy spun sugar, okay?
Thanks,
now, that's
buddy.
a secret recipe. You don't tell anybody about it, all right?
Okay, bud.
Take it easy, you two. Bye, Toby. Yeah, dig it, bro. That cotton candy was pretty good. Want to grab a mint on the way out?
Oh, I'd love to.
Here you go.
Ooh, this tastes like fish.
It's a very special Fishy Dream card in honor of our friends from Citizens of Lorcana.
It's almost making me mad.
He looks pretty mad. This is Flounder Flood Shark.
This might be one of the most disturbing dream card images I've ever seen. I have to take that back. Corn-born Snow White is one of the most disturbing images I've ever seen.
Some people were scared of the Winnie the Pooh star god.
Oh, that's true. He was scary too.
But this might take the cake. This admittedly is an AI image. I normally don't condone the promotion of AI images, but given that this is purely for fun and not for purchase and not replacing anybody's job, but just something silly that we can type into a generator, I think it's okay.
I think it's okay too. We're looking at a 7-cost inkable sapphire card, Flounder Flood Shark, 7 strength and 6 willpower. He quests for 1, and he's a Floodborn ally.
He also shifts for 5 and has 2 abilities. The first is Not a Guppy, which says, whenever this character banishes another character in a challenge, you may put chosen opposing character or item into their player's inkwell face down. So on banish, he can have a Hades effect or a hideaway.
That sounds incredible.
He also has a second ability, Citizens of the Deep. Your other characters named Flounder gain support, just like the Citizens of Lorcana were constantly supporting the community.
This is terrifying. It's terrifying to imagine a board full of flounders.
I think it's all that Jared would like to do in Lorcana.
I think so too. This is a perfect gift for Citizens of Lorcana. I also think this is a card that Toby would love. Get to banish those items. Put that stuff away.
Yeah, put it in his off-meta deck. I like the versatility of this. I just tried to make it strong, and I really wanted it to make the 1-drop Flounder super playable.
Of course. I mean, I think with this card, Flounder could actually see play someday. I love that he's a 7/6. I love that he's a huge body, because he's such a tiny fish.
Yeah, he's Floodborn, right? He became a shark when the flood hit.
Right, exactly. I mean, he looks just like a shark, dear listener. I can't wait for you to see this, because you won't be able to unsee it.
We hope that our friends at Citizens of Lorcana like this little tribute to them, and we wish them well in all of their future endeavors.
We'll always be here if they want to come hang on a pod.
Katie, we have lots of exciting plans on the horizon for the pod, some really fun episodes in the works that I can't wait to share, including an all Mickey Mouse themed episode.
Yes, nothing but Mickey. This kind of an episode would certainly infuriate Donald Duck. And as much as we love him, it's time that we dedicate an entire episode to the mouse. The man, the myth, the mouse.
Until those episodes come out, you can follow us on social media. You can leave a contribution in our Tip Top Jar at tiptopjar.com/smorcana. And we would really appreciate if you left a review or followed us on Spotify or Apple Podcasts in particular. It really helps other folks find our pod.
If you support other content creators and you like and comment on their posts, then what will happen to you is one of the most beautiful karmic activities that can happen in the earth. The next time that you go to scoop a scoop of ice cream from your favorite pint or gallon or whatever of ice cream, you're going to get the best scoop possible every single time. Every time that you tell a content creator you like what they're doing, you're going to get premium ice cream scoops. So think about that.
That's a heck of a promise.
I'm telling you, go ahead, prove me wrong.
I'll try it. I'm going to try your theory.
Me too.
Until next time, keep on snacking on that ice cream, y'all.
Ooh, a big chunk of cherry and a big chunk of chocolate chip.